Thanks very much. Awesome, awesome, and historic in a way, historic. 10 years ago, when I was covering the Bilderbergs in Versailles, in France, in Paris, we had about 5 or 6 of us, and it's just wonderful to see how this movement for truth and exposing criminal activity going on right across the NATO countries and other parts of the world, but particularly NATO is up there. It's great to see you all. Please give yourself all a round of applause just for being here, please. Thank you. Okay, a little bit about me. First of all, I started my life in aviation, a family business, and then I worked as a journalist for about 3 or 4 years, and a researcher and a reporter at the BBC. I worked at Great London Radio for a while when it was good, before it became BBC for London. I noticed they elbowed out Danny Baker recently, which is absolutely disgusting, and it's the kind of thing that the BBC seems to do nowadays. People who raise our spirits are lowered in the BBC. But anyway, then I went on to do land rights activism, but after the BBC, when I came across these guys, alarm bells rang. And alarm bells rang for one main reason, and that's because I discovered the first chairman, Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, that's from 1954 up until the mid-1970s, had been an SS officer before World War II. He joined the SS. So Bilderberg in its first 20 years was being chaired by a former SS officer. This immediately rang alarm bells for me, as I'm sure it does for many people who haven't been told that, and also other journalists. But what we've got up on the mountain there, really, is like a convention of Bond villains, all in the same room, all at the same time. Just think about every, one Bond film after another. That's what the atmosphere in these places is like. I spoke to, at Versailles, I spoke to the Greek finance minister who came out at the meeting. Of course, someone that wanted to come out now couldn't do it. He came out of the meeting, he said the atmosphere in there is toxic, and anyway, the cigarettes are too expensive. So he'd come out onto the streets of Paris to have a chat with us. And what happened afterwards to Greece? So the politicians who are in there don't believe that they're always happy about being there. I think the characteristics have changed a bit over the years. Anyway, they're darkening our world. It's almost like a cloud, a load of cloud coming across. Today the cloud's shining because we're here, but these guys are bringing clouds across. They're darkening Europe with corruption. It's like Europe and the United States and NATO countries are becoming like a kind of massive banana republic where everything is just done through a few leaders and democracy is being crushed. They're capturing our main political parties with money, with donations. Now I actually think, as in some other countries, what we need to do is make sure that political parties, if they get our vote, with that comes some cash to fund them, that they don't get influence from outside, from private business and banking to do what they want, but to do what we want. If we vote, some cash should come to whatever the party is that's standing, if a party is standing. We've got to take the money out of politics, not just here. Another thing, when we heard that this meeting was going to take place, there's now a whole bunch of people out there around the world who look into, and particularly Charlie and Giorgio, that discovered that this meeting was taking place here. 2 days afterwards, the newly elected Police and Crime Commissioner for Hertfordshire announced he wanted to see more citizens' arrests in Hertfordshire. His name is Mr. Lloyd. More citizens' arrests. Maybe he was talking to us. Absolutely. Because criminality is massive up on the hill. Particularly HSBC, money laundering, leaving piles of bodies on the outskirts of Mexican villages who resist the drug cartels. Now, HSBC were running those cartels cash around in their armoured vehicles and specially preparing little notches in the banks in Mexico to accept suitcases.